Hi everybody, we're doing 6,013 divided by 5. So if we know that all the multiples of 5 end with 5 or 0, take a look at this number. Do you think it's going to evenly divide into 5? It won't. There's going to be a remainder. And I know that you know that because of that box too, but that is just a hint there. So we can just look at this number and know it's not going to be multiple of 5, but we can still divide it and we'll have something left over. All right, let's go ahead and get started. And if you're starting to catch on to this, I encourage you to pause the video, try a step, unpause, etc. Or you can just follow along if you're still feeling like you just need to watch for a little while. Okay, so our first step is to do 6 divided by 5. So we're on this step here. How many 5s can fit into 6? And I use this, how many times can I skip count my 5s without going over? Well, that would be going over, so just one time. 5 can fit into 6 just one time. See, I just made one group there. So we put the 1 up here. All right, next we're going to multiply. 1 times 5, which is 5. I want you to think about the next step as we're going through. So the next step is 6 minus 5. What do we do next? Bring down the 0. Now what do we do? Start over. Divide. What are we dividing? 10 divided by 5. So how many times can you skip count your 5s? 1, 2. Where does the 2 go? Up top. Now what do we do? We're going to multiply, but what are we multiplying? That same thing we just wrote back with our divisor. So 2 times 5, which is 10. Now we're going to subtract. What are we subtracting? It's this here. It's 10 minus 10, which happens to be nothing. So we put a 0. All right, now we're going to bring down our 1. This is where it gets interesting. What are you going to do next? Well, what is the next step? The next step is to see how many 5s fit into 1. That doesn't really make sense, right? Well, you got to do it anyways. So if I had 1 candy bar and I have 5 friends, if I had to split it evenly, I'm not allowed to cut it up into fractions. Each friend would get nothing, right? I can't. You can't fit 5 into 1 with whole numbers anyways. So if you end up in a situation like this where the number is too small and you truly did bring something down, the answer is 0. 5 fits into 1 0 times. And now we're just going to keep following the steps. So you're going to multiply. 0 times 5 is 0. It seems like a waste, but it got that extra digit in there. So that's, I mean, this number having 4 digits instead of 3, if you skip that step, that's a really big difference, right? Okay, so again, we did 1 divided by 5 is 0. Or 5 can fit into 1 0 times. And then we multiplied 0 times 5 is 0. Now we subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. That same 1 we've had all along. Bring down your 3. Think about what we'll do next. Now we're going to see how many 5s fit into 13. Much more doable, right? 2 times. Where does the 2 go? There we go. And now what do we do with that 2? Yep, we're going to multiply it back. 2 times 5 is 10. What do we do next? Subtract. 13 minus 10 is 3. And what do we do with the 3? You got it. It's a remainder. So 6,013.